Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is my regular Sunday Facebook Live. Today's live is going to be showing you lots of sneak peeks. So what we're going to be doing is this card, which at the moment looks like nothing, but I will show you how it goes, which is the June Fantastic Fun Folds tutorial. If you don't know what Fantastic Fun Folds is, it's a tutorial collaboration that I do with 11 other ladies. We do one fantastic fold rather than fun fold. There's a bit more to them a month. So you get the tutorial for the fun fold with metric and imperial measurements and 12 different samples of cards made using those measurements. If you want to subscribe to that, I will put the details to the link, which tells you all about how to subscribe, and the subscription has the subscription form link, whatever we want to call it, in my comments once I've finished. And I'm also going to give you a sneak peek of the new Violet Dreams suite, which is the online exclusive that's coming at the beginning of July. So let's start with the card. I know it looks a bit complicated at the moment, so that's the card folded up. It will fit into an envelope to post. However, I don't know whether we can see this. There is a lot in this card, so it is quite thick. I'm not sure whether or not it would require extra postage because I haven't done that yet. When it's unfolded, and yes, I know that's a terrible view from the camera, it's going to stand like that, and it looks something like that if I'm holding it at an angle. And on the reverse of the card, you have your writing panels. Okay, so that's what we're going to be assembling. Let me show you the products that I'm using. So first up, we have the Framed Violets bundle stamp set with the dies. The dies have that scalloped oval and a regular oval. Those ones match the stamps. And then you've got that which will make your flowers and leaves. And although they're violets, don't color them purple, and they'll look like different flowers. And then I also have the DSP. Now, it comes with 2 sheets of that, which has pop-outs with flowers and frames and things. And then your paper. So yeah, the paper is very purple, but some people love purple, so this is an absolute dream. The reverse sides are a bit less purple. Here comes your greens and blacks. Okay. Now, I am doing a tutorial bundle with the Avid Crafting Collective, and we're using this suite. So stick around to the end, I'll tell you more about that, and I'll show you my 3 cards that are going into that tutorial bundle. But let's get working on this card. Now this is purely assembly. If you subscribe to the tutorial bundle, these links will be going into the tutorial. Well, try that again. The video link will go into the tutorial so that you've got the assembly of the card with the tutorial. I'm not giving any measurements. The measurements are in the tutorial, so if you want them, please subscribe. Let's get going. I'm going to be making this card in black today, so black card base rather, and we're going to just try and get this, do some scoring. Okay. So it's easy scoring. It's just a few straight panels. Oops. Okay. Now, put that aside for 1 minute. Now when we're going to fold, we're going mountain, valley, mountain, oops, if I fold along those score lines, valley, sorry, mountain, valley, mountain, mountain, valley, and mountain. Okay. So it's looking like that. Now what we're going to do is cut this down. I've cut and stuck because there's lots of sticking, lots of DSP here, so I've done a lot of the sticking before. That's going to be our side panels. Now don't get too hung up about this, but what we want to do is cut down along that score line so that it's roughly the height of that panel. Okay, that one went a little bit more than, but that's okay. Like I said, don't get too stressed out about it. And then we're just going to cut that. It's very hard doing it from the side. Maybe I could turn it over, it will be easier. Okay, so cut that at an angle there, and then we're going to do the same on the other side, making sure that we cut both pieces from the top, because we don't want one cut from the top and one from the bottom. That would be a bit of a disaster. And again, angle that. And that's as difficult as our cutting and scoring goes, although, like I said, there is a lot of DSP and sticking. Now, just before I start sticking this, I just want to talk to you about cutting the DSP, because I think with the seagulls, I didn't get too stressed because I wasn't too worried about the pattern actually carrying through. But with this paper that I'm using, that floral paper, I wanted my picture to actually carry through. So when you cut this, cut those strips, and then you're going to cut that one down. Now, there is a piece in the middle, okay, and just because of the way it goes, it's just not enough. So my DSP is 30.5 centimeters across, and I actually need 31 centimeters. So if you don't have a pattern, that doesn't matter, or you're not neurotic like me and fussed about it, don't worry about it. But if you are, then that piece either needs to be different, or what I'm going to do now is actually just leave it with a plain piece. And then I'm very carefully keeping all my pieces so that they're going to go in the right order at the end after all of that. And I actually should have cut the other way, because now what should be valleys are mountains and what should be mountains are valleys. So let's just quickly fold that the other way around. And lucky paper folds both ways, so it doesn't matter. And then we're going to stick my two smaller side pieces onto those tabs that we cut earlier. And I'm just lining up my edge with the score line and the bottom. So we can fold that down. It sometimes makes it easier to stick if you can just have it folded down. And the same on this side. And now I'm going to stick all my other pieces on. So, like I said, I did just a lot of cutting and sticking before, so that you don't need to watch me do all of that, but these pieces I couldn't stick until I'd actually shown you the folding. So bear with me. We'll get those stuck. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, I've actually embossed this. So there's not a lot that you're seeing on it, but it is a little piece. This is the Fern and Flora embossing folder, which has lots of different leaves on it. I love this embossing folder. I've got it over here. I'll show you now as soon as we've got stuck. I think it's a really nice background when you've got floral, and unfortunately it is out of stock at the moment. I'm not sure about other markets, but definitely in Australia, and it is expected back on the 20th of July. And again, we are using that one in the Avid Crafting Collective stamp camp. So you are going to want that one if you want to order for that one. If you're in Australia and you want the class kit, then order the class kit and you'll get those pieces already embossed for you. Okay, so there's all our bits stuck on. Let me just grab this. This is the embossing folder, so you can see it's got all those different leaves on. It doesn't really have a right way or a wrong way, and you can position where you want your piece embossed. Okay, so now we've got that. Then for my writing panels, you're going to use the top of these pieces cut down a little bit smaller, and it's your choice whether you want to stick the DSP at the top of your writing panel or at the bottom. So I've done it at the top here. I'm going to do it on the bottom for this one. And then what I'm doing is I've die cut the flowers and two of the little leaves. I'll show you. So it's those two flowers cut two together, and then you've got a larger, a medium, and a smaller leaf. So I've done two of the small leaves. So we're not stamping anything on this one. I'm taking the lazy way out for decorating here. What I am going to do, if I can find where I put, and oh, there it is, hang on. Here we go. My Fresh Freesia blend. Just to add a little bit more definition, I'm going to just flick over those lines in it and just do some darkening around the center. Now, the center still has the teeny tiny little bit inside it, so I'm going to push that out, and I'm going to show you what I've done here, which may or may not be overkill. You decide, but okay. I'm a little bit neurotic, so I've done it. So I stuck the leaf on here just so that I wouldn't lose it. You can either stick it on before or stick your flower and then stick the leaf on afterwards. So we're going to stick that into the corner. And then what I did is cut another flower, and you can see it was just out of a scrap, so not cut very well, in Daffodil Delight. And the whole purpose of this flower is that teeny tiny little center bit. So I'm going to try be quite light-handed and just put a little bit of glue there, and then push out the yellow center and stick it in. Now this is quite fiddly, and like I said, I don't know whether it needs it, it doesn't need it. I'm completely ridiculous, but hey, I want my flowers to have yellow centers, so there we go. With the yellow center, you can decide whether you think that it's a good idea or not. And then we're going to stick these onto here. And we need to decorate the front of our card if I've got it folded the way that it's supposed to go. There we go. Okay, so that's how we're folding. And then what I've done is, like I said, just because I'm showing you the card more than the decorating this time, gone really easy decorating here. So I've cut that big oval in black, the smaller one in the white. Again, you can't see a lot of it, but it does have that same embossing folder at the back. I've popped out one of those pop-out flowers, stamped that sentiment to stick across, and we're just going to stick this. So I'm putting glue sort of down the middle here. And just because this card is so thick, and I know that I want to be sending it to someone, I'm not going to add any extra dimensionals or embellishments or anything. Obviously, you can do that. Probably a better idea if you're going to hand deliver the card rather than stick it into the post. But there. Okay, so that's our card finished. So it's, if we're going to post it, okay, we do know that I just stuck the writing panel in that writing panel in the wrong place. It should be over here. So I'm going to have to make another plan with that one. And the reason that I know that is because when it folds up to post, the whole point of putting those little flowers there was so that you would actually see them there. Okay, so don't do what I do. Writing panel goes there, not there. Probably was too busy talking, wasn't thinking about what I was doing, so that's a bit of a mess. I haven't given this time for the glue to hold. Okay, not doing well. Once something goes wrong, then everything goes wrong. But if you're looking at this card from the front, okay, it will look beautiful with that paper and those violets popping up. And then I'll pull in my other one. So this is my one that's in the tutorial. If you're getting the tutorial, you now have a 13th option for decorating. And then I said I would show you those Avid Crafting Collection cards. So these are my cards. So there's 3 of us. There's myself, Julia Quinn, and Chantel Randall. So we each do 2 standard cards. So those are going to be my standard cards. And then we do a fun fold. So this is my fun fold. And it opens up like that. So if you're displaying it, it will stand, and it has a panel on the back for writing, but it folds up usually easily and neatly to post. And then I don't know if you're noticing here, but this ribbon is in the suite, so you've got the Fresh Freesia satin ribbon, and you have, let me lift it up to the camera, these oh so beautiful floral embellishments. Okay, so those are lovely. If these violets are talking to you, then like I said, the link will be up, and that's our fun folds for today. Hope you've enjoyed the fun fold, and I will see you again next week. Have a good week. Bye for now.